Hi guys, Bad Boy Genvi here, aka Satan, the devil. Yep, that's me. And the devil himself. It's been a week of revelations for me. I've just found out quite a lot about reptilian society that I didn't know before, and that's been hidden from me. First of all, there aren't any monkey men. I've figured that out. So monkeys. So I think what happened, you had spiders evolve into monkeys. So you got chimps, gorillas, things like that, bonobos, and other monkeys. And that's as far as they've got in terms of evolution. So there aren't any monkey men, unless you want to count Bigfoot. So the whole of the world is reptilian. It's lizards that evolved into humans or reptilians, whatever we're calling ourselves this week. You know what I mean? And that's been hidden from me. I didn't know that till just recently. I've just figured it out. You know, there aren't any monkey men. I don't think so. And if there are, they're not on this earth. I mean, maybe somewhere else in the universe there's monkey men. You know, like Planet of the Apes. And the reptilians will have to try and conquer that Earth. You know, to get the Earth, because we need new Earths now. Keep going on about it. So that I figured that out. What else have I figured out? Something that's utterly shocking. Well, not really, because everyone in Reptile Club will have known about it. I'm the only one who's in the dark about it, because I'm not allowed in Reptile Club. Is that the British royal family, the Windsors, is actually matriarchal. So that means it's run by women. It's run by the queens. Most of them have been killed off, I think, with God's mind powers. God in heaven's killed them off with his mind powers. So I don't know how many of them are left. The other thing is, I think the whole of Reptile Club knew about this Great Reset and that, you know, you need to put your money in oil. And I was the one, Satan, who's supposed to figure it out and try to avoid it happening. And I really want to. But the problem is, these women that run society, believe it or not, they've got their own timeline planned for me. I've already done free energy. I don't think they expected me to have done free energy by now in this house. Because the problem they've got is you've got one Earth and you haven't got the tech to get new Earths. The Greys have. But the Greys don't want to work with these women. They don't want to work with your matriarchs, if you want to call them that. I don't. I'm going to go into detail in them a bit more later, but the Greys don't want to work with them because they've done so many atrocities. Now, the Roman Empire, as far as I'm aware, was patriarchal, so it was run by men. But when things transitioned to it being run by Germania, which was conquered by the Romans, it changed to matriarchy because their matriarchal, Germania must have been matriarchal. And the way they control their men, so King Charles, Prince William, Prince Harry, the way they're controlled with all things, as all of Reptile Club will already know, is with chastity cages over their cocks and a Prince Albert with, you know, a Prince Albert piercing through their dick. It's unbelievable. It's just so, I mean, it's just hilarious to me that the whole of mankind the whole of the world of men is controlled by that and women. Cock cage, whatever you want to call it. So world is controlled by women who control men through sexual release. They've got their key. They've got the key to their cock, and men get, I think, very sexually aroused by these women and give up their power to them. So you're kings. You've essentially what you've had happen is in Germania, the women have ruled over the men with these chastity cages, cock cages, and put their dicks in. It's unbelievable. Obviously, everyone in Reptile Club already knows it. And they've just given up all their power as kings because they become like performing. These men become like performing monkeys, for want of a better term, for these women. They're put on a public display on video. In the past, it must have been in a little arena or something to show that it's the queen that's the boss of the king. That the king's just become a sex slave. He's just a slave, and they'll humiliate the kings and make them do silly things. Problem is that I consider it a BDSM club, basically, that runs the world. Standing for bondage, domination, sadism and masochism. It's basically that runs a female BDSM club that run the world through these Germanic royal families. I think the thing is, Germanic men are a more submissive nature than Roman men. Rome was patriarchal, built on being tough and good at fighting and having really scary bully boy men. Yeah, they just conquered Germania, controlled it. But the Greys didn't like the Romans. They thought they're just scary bully boys. Problem is, the Greys then put the women in power in Germania, world power, and as it is, if anything, it's been worse under the women, I think, because you've had atrocities like the Holocaust, World War II, and all along the women were being tested by the Greys, I think, in the sense of what you were supposed to do to the Greys is just do what I'm trying to do with them, which is say, look, we'll be nice. We just want to work with you on this interstellar tech. We're not going to do these wars. We're not going to do holocausts. We're not going to do, all these terrible communist famines. We're not going to do any of that. All we want to do, Greys, is be really nice to you, have you do all our science jobs and be doctors, all the smart jobs where you've got to be smart. Because you're not that smart. Reptilians are not smart. You're really thick. Don't worry about it. Doesn't matter. I've said before, you've got the athleticism. And the Greys are smart. The Greys haven't got athleticism. They don't do being athletic. So we need to work together. And that's what the women, these matriarchal women, failed to understand. They just needed to talk to the Greys and explain, look, we just want to be nice. Nice to you guys, the Greys, and not do terrible things to our own people. And they've done terrible things. I mean, something they've really tried to destroy is fatherhood. In family court, you ever gone to family court as a father, you'll know, you're not going to get treated that well as a father. Because women get a sexual... The whole thing with women, their whole thing is sex. They're all about sex. Because that's all they've got. Men are the best at fighting. Men are possibly better at thinking. I don't know about that one. They're kind of both stupid. But when their power over men is sex. They've got sex over men. And once they get that chastity cage on you, and they get the Prince Albert piercing, which Prince Albert, Queen Victoria's husband, must have had, they've got you then. You can get out of it though. I've suggested, if you're in one of them cages and you want to get out, you potentially cut yourself out with tin snips, potentially cut the metal off and get out of it. But and what I've realised as well is it's the objective of the women of this world to get me in one of these chastity cages and to get that Prince Albert ring in the end of my bell end and to have me locked in a cage, it's not going to happen, because I like having my freedom. I'm the one with the ring of power. That's where the ring of power is. On my left hand, I'm left-handed, and on my trigger finger. There it is. There's the ring of power. I'm the one who's supposed to have the power, because I'm the one who's passed the test of the greys, that you just need to be nice to them. You just need to be, as a ruler, try to do everything in the best interest of the people. Be nice to the greys. Don't be mean to them. The women didn't pass the test. Matriarchy didn't pass the test. I think the greys possibly could have worked with the Romans, but they just viewed the Romans as too brutal, too terrifying. Thing is, though, what I'd say to the greys is you have to crucify some people. If someone does an atrocity, something really terrible in society, like murdering children, you have to then crucify them, a public crucifixion, as a deterrent. So everyone else, don't do what this guy did in hurting the, killing kids. You've got to have that, because otherwise, if you just I don't know, put that guy in prison and he's segregated from the rest of the prison population. It's not a deterrent. Prison's not much of a deterrent. Crucifixion is a much better deterrent, because it's a very painful way to die. So that's how I'd explain to the greys, and I'm sure they hopefully would understand that. You're only in trouble in Rome if you do naughty things. If you're a good person, just living a good life, you don't get in trouble. You don't get crucified. Rome works logically. Whereas matriarchy, it's all about sex. It's all about control over men. These women who control the world, they get turned on by having fatherhood destroyed in family courts. It's a turn on for them. I've seen it in the female judges there. That's what women love, having power over men. They get very sexually aroused by it. My plan as king, I might indulge in some female domination games, but it's all going to be in a locked room where I'm the only one who's got the keys to the door. So I control who comes in. I'm not going to be restrained. And I control everything that goes on, really, in that room. I don't know if you can even class it as female domination. It's just a game. It's just a kinky little sex game. I'm going to be the boss. I'm going to be the king of kings. It ain't going to be a fucking woman. Is it? Fuck over my dead body. I'm the one with the ring of power on my fucking fist. Simple as that. So it's been quite the week. It's been quite a shock to me, because I didn't understand how it all worked. It's been kept hidden from me, all of this. And a lot of you men are treated bad in this society. I want an egalitarian society, which means it doesn't matter whether you're male or female, black or white, you got equal treatment, equality in society. That's what I want. I don't want to see the women treated bad. Of course I don't. But I don't want to see the men treated bad. You know what I mean? Men and women. At the minute, with this matriarchal BDSM club that runs the world, it's basically just a sex club. It's women working against men, I feel. It's not men and women working together harmoniously. And it's not the ideal way to run things. So that's my view on it. Women are relying, these matriarchal women, are relying on getting a man addicted to his own orgasms, and also they're addicted to their own orgasms. Now the women at the top that are above the law have been doing all kinds of terrible things. Incest, they shouldn't be doing that. And they shouldn't be doing child abuse. I've actually put some rules in place. Try and find them. Here we go. Yeah. So, how the matriarchal ring of power goes legit, because at the minute I don't feel it is. Right, so number 1 rule, stop molesting kids. Number 1. Number 2, stop the incest. Now, if you've got a mother who is into this stuff, she could send a 16-year-old son, because that's the age of sexual consent, to a female dominatrix that's not related to him to be trained. But the 16-year-old son cannot consent to a Prince Albert piercing and chastity until he is 18 years old, because then he's an adult, so then it's up to him. The same is the case for any slave, tattoos, or any other piercings. Stop trying to destroy fatherhood. You won't be able to in family court anyway under me. And you cannot inflict extreme injuries to people, like removing the genitals, even if the slave consents to it. So, those rules there that I've got so far, I ain't got any more rules yet, but those rules, in my view, are very smart for this female domination, matriarchal, if you want to call it that, ring of power that runs the world currently. Very smart for them to adopt them rules. Why? So then, like I say there, you know, so the ring of power become their ring of power, matriarchal ring of power, goes legit. What do I mean by that? They'll say, oh, but we're above the law. Not in the afterlife. Because some of the things they're doing are getting them put into hell. They're doing things that go too far. Also, if a slave wants to be out the chastity cage, he wants to leave that world behind, he can. So it's not true slavery, but you can't. I want a society that's, you know, happy society, not some fucking, you know, where men are getting it in the neck from the women all the time. You know, I don't want that. I want egalitarianism. So those are some smart rules for that matriarchal ring of power to start following, so then they avoid getting themselves into trouble in the afterlife. You see, what they want is a world where they can just run their sex game, because that's how they view Queen Elizabeth II, Queen Victoria, people like that. They viewed reality as just one big sex game, I think, for their amusement. And they wanted a situation where there's no rules or boundaries. Whatever line they want to cross, they can, whether it be child abuse or whatever else. You know, who knows what they've done, but they wanted to be able to do whatever they wanted. And I'm saying, no, there's got to be some rules. Just like in boxing, you have rules. I'm a fan of boxing. You have rules in boxing that are supposed to be followed, called the Queensberry rules. You know, you've got to have rules, otherwise, I mean, particularly child abuse, it's just not on. It's just not okay. And it gets you in a lot of shit. It's in your interest to listen to what I'm saying, because you're going to get in a lot of shit in the afterlife if you don't listen to me and do what you're told. So it's quite the shocking revelation. I didn't realise. I thought the Windsors was patriarchal. Anyway, that's the end of the video. And everyone, you know, fucking have a good Christmas. I hope you have a good Christmas, and I'll see you the next one.